But the people who write, they must be pissing themselves with laughter. Hi, it's me again, and it's not often I'm happy to open the postbox and to see a letter from TV licensing. But this one was very welcome indeed, because it gave me a good laugh. I have covered this one, I don't know, countless times. You've all sent me it millions of times. Right, I think the last time I covered it, the serial number was 23. So look, this is the traditional, your IN blah, blah, blah number. But the interesting part here, it's gone back to 0. I think I covered it at 23. People were sending me it in the 50s. They've made so many of these. And how many years did that take? Like 3 years, maybe 4 years to go all the way around the numbers. And now they're just starting again from 0. Everybody thinks this IN is a code just for them. It's not. Millions of people are getting this. I can't believe it's gone. It's really cheered me up when that said 0. I don't know, maybe I'm sad like that. So let's crack this open, because maybe you've got this and it's in a brown envelope, and maybe you've opened it and you've been a bit concerned about what it said because you've stopped paying your TV license for whatever reason. So I'm going to crack it open, we'll go through it together, and I'll let you know everything you need to know. Just let me open it up. So in case you're new to all this and you're a bit scared about getting letters from TV licensing because you've recently stopped paying, let me just tell you this. This is addressed to the legal occupier, okay? They have no idea who I am since I've moved into this property. They keep threatening visits. I've had God knows how many letters threatening a visit. All they have to do is come. I live in a block of flats, right? And at the main entrance downstairs, there's the buzzers. And on my number, it says my name. So if an enforcement officer had visited, they would now know my name. But no, still the legal occupier on here. These are all empty threats. I don't want to give you any spoilers here, but it's all rubbish. Right, let's have a look. Dear legal occupier, an IN 0100 code has been issued against your address. We use it to target unlicensed homes like yours that require a visit from our enforcement officers. How does that make any sense? Well, they use this code to target unlicensed. Why do you need a code? You know I'm unlicensed. I've had enough letters from you. Apparently on your database, I am unlicensed. But you still don't know if there's anybody in this property. And you don't know if anybody in this property, if there is anyone in here, is doing anything wrong. So what absolute nonsense is this 01? It just cracks me up. It's just ridiculous. It's the sheer level of ridiculousness that over the last couple of months, I've been getting letters threatening visits left, right, and centre, and I've had no visits at all. Now they've issued a code. Anyway, this letter is a formal notification that your details have now been passed to the enforcement team for your area, and they could be visiting any time, day or evening, weekdays or weekends. A formal notification. The last 3 or 4 letters have been the final stages of their investigation into my address. This letter is a formal notification that your details have now been passed to the enforcement team. I thought they were already with the enforcement team. For the last year, they've been with the enforcement team. And you can be visited any time, day or evening, weekdays or weekends. That not sound like a threat? Doesn't it? If it was a nice visit and they just wanted to talk to you, say, we'd like to book an appointment time to come and see you that's convenient to you when you're in, just so we can have a chat. Wouldn't that be a friendly way of having a visit? No. You could be visited any time, day or evening, weekdays or weekends. We will come whenever we want, is what they're saying. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right at all how they get away with it. Does it? We need to check you are not breaking the law. Why? Why do you need to check I'm not breaking the law? Why? For what reason do you need to check that I'm not breaking the law? No one's checked, no police officer comes around to check my dash camera to see if I was doing 75 on the A12 this morning. No, they don't need to check. They need to catch you. They don't need to check. And also, what goes on in my property is my business, none of yours. And also, why the hell are you assuming I'm doing something wrong? Winds me up. It's a criminal offence to watch or record live TV without a licence on any device. You also need a TV licence to be covered for everything on BBC iPlayer. Well, that's not even true. It's only BBC stuff on BBC iPlayer. You can watch S4C stuff on BBC iPlayer. But can you listen to the radio on BBC iPlayer, or is that just on BBC Sounds? I don't use it, so I don't know. But I know for a fact that that bit's not true. But without a TV licence, you can't watch or record anything that's being broadcast, or access BBC iPlayer to watch BBC stuff. Fair dues, all right? And if you don't pay the licence fee, you shouldn't be doing those things. But even if you are, they have no right to assume that you are. We need to check you are not breaking the law. No, you fucking don't. You need to wind your necks in, is what you need to do. It's none of your business what goes on in my property TV licensing. Stop thinking you are something more important than you are. They call themselves enforcement teams. They say we need to check you're not breaking the law. You are door-to-door salesmen. On the TV licensing website itself, it says they're not police, they're not bailiffs, they have no power of entry, they have no power of arrest, they have no power of anything apart from to sell you a product that you may not need. And we'll come to the visits in a minute. You could be prosecuted and have to pay a fine. If enforcement officers find evidence of illegal TV viewing... here we go. All right. How are these enforcement officers going to find evidence of illegal TV viewing? How? Tell me how. Oh, wait. TV licensing. As we just said, they have no powers of entry. They're not police. They're not bailiffs. They have no power. They have no power of anything apart from to knock on your door and to try and sell you something. So they will knock on your door and you'll answer it. If you don't know how to play the game, they'll talk to you. They'll say, what are you doing? And they know to keep you talking as long as possible about television in the hope that you'll stitch yourself up. If you don't stitch yourself up, they're going to ask to come in and check your equipment just so they can sign you off. What right do you have to enter my property? None. Here, if you're new to all of this, this is how you deal with it. And I'm not trying to stitch you up. I'm not trying to get you into trouble. Have a look at the goon visits on this channel. There's a playlist, hit my name, there's a playlist for goon visits, right? If one knocks on your door, don't be scared to open your door. If you've got a Ring video doorbell, say, you're laughing, right? No, maybe not for, your own privacy reasons. That's another video. But, don't be scared to open your door to these people. So you open your door and go, all right, who are you? Hello, I'm from TV licensing. Come off. Be polite. No, thank you, mate. And you just shut the door. That's it. They cannot keep knocking on the door. They cannot keep pestering you. They might come back. They're door-to-door salesmen. If you live in a big town, you might be on the rounds again at some point. But if you close the door in their face again, they're not going to waste their time. Keep coming to knock on your door. Sales is a numbers game. They knock on 5,000 doors a year each or something ridiculous like that. You're not doing anything wrong by saying, no, thank you, mate, and closing the door. You don't need to talk to these people. And you never should talk to these people. They'll either ask to come in. If you refuse that, they'll say, okay, well, we just need to sign here and I'll be on my way. But you don't know what you're signing or what they're going to fill in after the fact. And I've heard some horror stories about it. No, thank you, mate. Close the door. They are salesmen. They are not bailiffs. They're not police. And they're certainly not enforcement officers. They wind me up. You could be interviewed under caution in accordance with national criminal law, which could lead to prosecution. That's in there for one reason. One reason only. To make them sound like they're the police or something. You could be interviewed under caution in accordance with national criminal law. Now, from what I understand, and Black Belt Barrister may correct me on this, you can interview anyone. I can interview someone under caution if I want. But there's certain rules around it, which I bet most of these numpties that work as enforcement officers don't know. If one knocked on my door, I would film it. That's simple. Just for my own protection, for my own safety, so that I can't get stitched up. The maximum penalty is a criminal conviction, and you may have to pay a fine of up to £1,000 plus. All right, yeah, fair dues. If you're caught, and we've already talked about how you could get caught, which is, it's not going to happen. That is the only way to get caught, is by talking to an enforcement officer. There is no other way. Detective vans are a myth. There's no other way. They can't track you through the internet. The only way you get caught is by talking to one of their numpty enforcement officers. But let's say you did. The maximum fine is £1,000. I've never heard of it being given out. The average fine's about 150 quid. To stop this visit from the enforcement team. What visit? What visit? For years now, you've been threatening visits. And it's not like I live in the arse end of nowhere. Yeah, I'm not in the busiest place in the world, but I'm not in the middle of nowhere anymore. I was, I'm not now. Where's this visit? Where is this visit? You cannot keep threatening to visit me if you're not going to actually follow through on that. At some point, you've got to stop. Black Belt Barrister talked about that. How can you continually threaten to visit me and not do it? At some point, your investigation, you've got to call it over. Say, yeah, we can't be asked to come and visit you. But no, they continue with this shite. Anyway, to stop this visit, you can buy a license. It's funny how that would stop the visit, isn't it? Move your existing license note or tell us you don't need one. Right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. This whole thing is assuming you're doing something wrong. Why? Why are you assuming I'm doing something wrong? Because I'm not. I'm not doing anything wrong at all. So why are you assuming it? Why isn't the first thing at the top? Do you watch or record anything that's been broadcast or access BBC iPlayer to watch BBC stuff? No? Okay, well, you can ignore this letter. Yes? Well, maybe you should talk to us about buying a television licence. Wouldn't that be a nicer way to live rather than putting this out and assuming we're all doing something wrong when we just ain't? So you can tell us you don't need a licence right at the bottom there. You can do that. It's called a no licence needed declaration. Sometimes you can do it online when the form works, which isn't often. Or you can give them a call. Okay, you can do it. I choose not to do it. You will get a visit if you do it. It's going to stop most of the shitty letters. It will not stop you getting a visit. It just will not. So I choose not to do it. I did it for about 4 years. I choose not to do it anymore. To stop this visit to your home and change the status, I do need to change. Yeah, I do. I need immediately to change the status of my IN0100 code. You need to act now. It's so important that I change the status of my IN0100. The people who write this, they must just be sitting there. It's certainly not Scott Robson, because I don't think he actually exists. But the people who write, they must be pissing themselves with laughter. And there's nothing in the back of interest. Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't understand how they get away with sending these letters. I also don't understand why they take the negative on it all the time. The assumption that I'm doing something wrong. I'd be more likely to communicate with them. Not that I ever would, but the likeliness would improve somewhat if they were nice about it. You know, but you're assuming I'm doing something wrong. It's always a threat. And it's always wrong to do. So if you've received this one, in summary, because I might have rambled on a bit there, don't be worried about it. Okay, it's complete and utter nonsense. Don't talk to the goons is the main message. If one knocks on your door, shut the door. No, thank you, mate. Shut the door. End of story. That's it. You'll continue. You'll get one of these once a month. That's it. Hopefully that's set your mind at ease if you have got this. If you have got this, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. While you're leaving your comment, hit all the buttons. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I really want to get to 100,000 and get that plaque. I've never won anything in my life. I want that plaque. So, yeah, hit all the buttons and everything. If you do all that, hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.